on the Texas A&M Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Brought to you by Coors Light, Choose Chill, and Gig 'em Aggies. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. Also brought to you in part by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. And by Twisted Tea, hard iced tea for the 12th man. Please drink responsibly. Now, welcome to the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. Here's the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco.
Howdy, it is good to be back. It's another edition of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan, and we are back at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. We talk Aggie men's basketball for the next 60 minutes with the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies, Bucky McMillan. So much to catch up on, like the 4-1 Texas A&M Aggies in SEC play. That's after Saturday's 74-70 win in Austin over the Texas Longhorns in the most recent edition of the Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown. The conference play began with a Saturday win at Reed against LSU, followed that up with the road win at Auburn, then the home win against Oklahoma, 2 overtimes in Tennessee's the only blemish, and then the win over the Longhorns. Coming up this week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, the Aggies and the Mississippi State Bulldogs from Reed Arena, where we hope to see everybody out there for that contest, and then 2:30 against South Carolina. We are so glad you are with us all along the Texas A&M Sports Network, on the 12th Man mobile app, Learfield's Varsity Network app, or possibly joining us behind the mic on the Texas A&M Basketball Facebook page. However you're joining us, thank you. We'll get everything started. Bucky McMillan will join me. We get the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan started when we return. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. As we open up this edition on this Monday evening, it's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan, head coach, Fighting Texas Aggies, who are 4-1 in conference play. Coming off the win, Cotton Holdings Lone Star Showdown Saturday in Austin, 74-70, and there's a couple things that just jump out at me that you have said in the last week or so. The one word that I'm going to bring up to you right off the bat, after howdy, by the way, you talked about joy. You talk about a team that plays with joy, and you talked about how it's a joy to coach a roster of players like that. You can't fake that, can you, Bucky?
Yeah, our guys are having fun playing right now. They got a great chemistry to them. You know, I know there's coach speak, and I'm not too results oriented. I tell you that if we're winning or losing, but they have a special something to them right now. So, you know, some of the guys stopped by practice today. You can just see that they're clicking and have chemistry. We had a couple guys out sick today, but you know. That stuff never ends, does it? Never ends. But no, they're having fun, and that's what you want. You know, the teams that are having the most fun at the end of the season are the least likely to let go of the rope. You know,
right?
Because there's a lot of teams when you play in college basketball, such a long season, you get to end of March, April, and you know they're thinking about spring break. Mm-hmm. And those teams that that don't want it to end, they're not going to let go of that rope.
Yeah. To me, the other thing you can't fake is that joy for one another. It doesn't matter what happens on that floor. There's that joy for one another. Timeout out there to congratulate. Sometimes this is what I heard. I don't know, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn. Rylan wasn't really happy that you called the timeout after Jakari's free throw. Thought you were icing.
Rylan thought we were only up by 3. We're up by 4. The only thing we had to do is not foul. He didn't want to ice him to get it to a 4-point game. You know, so I was talking to him. We're like, hey, man, all we got to do is not foul here. We don't have to ice. You know? But Rylan knows the game. Thank you.
He does. He
knows the game. He's always thinking the game. And he's if you ever talk to Rylan, like, he could tell you stats in sports that would blow your mind.
Really?
You know, yeah. He could tell you who's going to, you know, every stat for this football game that's got to be played right here. And if you ask him who's going to win, he'll give you 30 reasons statistically why one team's going to beat the other.
Gotcha.
So, but, he's got to know the difference between 3 and 4, though.
Yes, he does, because 4 was huge on that one, and that's a big free throw. That was a 1-and-1.
Yep.
Never got to the double bonus in that big. And we'll talk about guys like Jakari. And I want to stay on Ryland because he was talking about his time at Alabama, what he learned, and the time at Kansas, all he learned. It's made him the player that he is now. And he said, one reason why I wanted to come here was the press and the defense. He's making himself into an all-around player. Loved what he did hated what he did at Alabama because it was against us, right? He looks great in maroon. He's not the same player who came into the SEC, is he?
No, he's an all-around player, and he's a money player. He's one of these guys that his game will show up in any game. Doesn't matter if we're playing high major, number 1 team in the country, or the worst team in the country. The shots he makes translate.
Yeah.
Because it takes him just half a second to get it off. And he gets it off so quick that, the defense, it really doesn't matter. He's going to be able to get a shot off. And but you can tell there's a competitiveness to him when he's playing right now. You can just see that look in his eye that he knows what time it is because SEC plays here.
He talks about the defense, and it's not just the steals, but in that run to start the second half on Saturday, he was on one end of the floor. Yes, he was making the shots, but it was the rebounding, it was the steals, it was the assists. That was a big reason why the Aggies were able to get that cushion and played with that through most of the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, he came out of the half. He had about 10 straight points, it felt like, and, had some steals. And then because he got it going from the outside, everybody had to start hugging him, and that opened it up for others. So he was dialed in. He's a Texas kid.
Yeah.
He lives for those kind of games. He kind of knew what the game was and the passion of the fan base is for the game.
Yeah.
So it was good to see him play well.
I really thought one of the turning points on Saturday was Texas goes up 6, 24-18. The final 4 minutes, as good a final 4 minutes, end of the first half, as we've played in a while. And even though Tremont Mark hits that 3, I never felt like the momentum switched because great close to the half, outstanding open to the half, and I know those are an important 8 minutes in a basketball game.
Yeah, I think there's a point in the game where we outscored them 20-5 or something around there.
Yeah.
We always have those runs, but that was a possession-by-possession game. It was not just a track meet; it was slowed down a little bit, and so all those points in that first half in a low possession game too felt like a touchdown, right? Mm-hmm. we scored a basket, felt like we scored a touchdown,
right.
Felt like 6, and in that game, to make a run like that, a 20-5 run felt like a 40-10 run in the game.
That's a great point.
And kind of put it out of reach right there.
And I want to talk about this when we come back, but just get your initial thoughts. Because of the experience on this roster, and I know they've done it through just 5 games in the SEC together, but the moment's not too big for this crew, is it? And the reason why I say that is Austin, Knoxville, Auburn. At no point has this team shrunk. The lights haven't been too bright, have it?
Well, to win on the road in the league, you got to have some moxie to you, and you got to be able to play defense. And that's the thing. In league play, our defense is the second-greatest defense in the league right now in league play. So that's a great stat because to win on the road, every night shots aren't going to fall, but can you hang around long enough in the game that you can make a run? And you can't do that if you're not getting stops.
Right.
So, you could see that we obviously we play a full court game. Mm-hmm. But when it does get to the half court, our guys have gotten better and better and better. We're undersized. We know that.
Yep.
But, there's a fight to them and a scrap to them in the half court now that they're negating that in every way they can. I know people are like, well, hey, we got to rebound better. Trust me, they're trying. Trust me,
Yeah.
But the things that they can control, they're controlling. If I could control all of them growing about 4 more inches overnight, they'd be in there stretching right now. But it doesn't work that way.
You'd have done that already, right?
Yeah.
He's head coach Bucky McMillan. This is the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. We will continue. We're at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. If you're in the area, come join us. If not, glad you are with us all along the network. We'll come back. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP Aggie basketball fan experience this year. Go to 12thman.com/maroon contest. That's where you register. Then one winner and a guest will receive game tickets, a Bucky McMillan autographed basketball, and you'll be recognized on the video board during the game. Register today, 12thman.com/maroon contest. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance is a proud partner of Texas A&M Athletics. We continue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan here at Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. As I had said to you earlier, a couple things that stuck out to me, and the most recent one was when you said you like where we are. That's important, is it not, especially this time of year?
Well, when I watch a lot of teams play this time of year, a lot of teams don't have an identity. Mm-hmm. I think we have an identity. Like when you come to Texas A&M game, you got a good gauge of what you're going to see, and the players know how we're going to play. And to have an identity, you got to – that means that you roll with it not just when it's going good, but when it's not going good. Mm-hmm. You're the same way. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're a Nebraska football team back in the 90s that Trev played for, right? Yeah. They were going to run the option. Yep. They're going to run the first quarter, the second quarter, and they're going to keep running. Even if it wasn't working, they're going to keep running it because they figured there's enough belief in their system that when it's not working, they're still going to do it at maximum effort, and eventually they're going to break through. Yeah. I think our guys have confidence in our identity, which is a pressure, scrap your eyes out team, heavy three-point volume, up and down team, fighters. And you can tell because we're going to do that no matter what's going on in that game, and we're going to stay with it. And I think that's what separated us in a lot of these games.
Do they identify it before you or your coaches even have to say anything?
Well, I think it takes time to develop that because you have to go through adversity and overcome adversity to believe in something. Yeah. And to believe in each other that they can come out on the right side of it even when it's not going a team's way or an individual's way. And I think we've done that enough now that our guys are dialed in to being who we are. And there's nothing better when you're confident in, hey, the way that we go about something and that you can live with it even if you lose. Right. Because that frees you in and of itself, because if you have the mindset of, hey, we're going to roll this way either way because we feel this is who we are and the best way for us to have the most success. And if it doesn't work, we'll shake your hand and say, man, y'all got us tonight. Good job. Right. But guess what? When we see you again, we're coming right back at you. Right back at you. And so that's always – it's fun when it gets to that point. You mentioned this an awful lot. I've heard Rashawn A.G. mention it as well. Losses are lessons. Learn the lesson at Tennessee. Now, it took 2 overtimes in Knoxville, but losses are lessons. And we've joked, in the Spurs organization, you win or you learn. Yep. It's one or the other. But this team learns, and we've talked about this. They learn from the victories as well. You got to learn from winning and losing. Yeah. You know that. It's easier for players to learn in losing, but you got to learn either way. And if you don't harp so much on the winning or losing, then you can learn consistently. We don't harp on that. Like, it's just about how do we play. Yeah. Because you don't want to, if there's a standard, it's a standard. It doesn't matter if you win or lose, right? Yes. So that's what that's what we're about, and that's why we've continued to get better with this group. Just because you're going to be home this week doesn't guarantee anything, does it? Oh, this Mississippi State team can beat anybody in the country. They have a guard that can literally single-handedly beat you by himself. 12 is something. Yeah. Josh Hubbard's something. I called a coach that played them, and I said, but y'all got good players. He goes, they got one guy that can beat all our guys by himself. And I was laughing. I mean, Josh Hubbard's a monster. Yeah. And they play good D. They're tough. But, I mean, Hubbard can go for 50 points tomorrow or Wednesday. Right. He really can. He can go for 50 points. He's one of these guys that's hard to stop him from getting his shot off. Would be totally surprised if this wasn't anybody's game in the last 2 minutes. Right. Hopefully. Right. Hopefully we play our butts off so that it is somebody's game. Yeah. But, I mean, this is a very, very capable team. They went into Texas and won. Yes, they did. They are very capable. Yeah. And they had their own rivalry game on Saturday, right? Playing Ole Miss. They got the heart ripped out in that one. Yeah. They lost to Ole Miss late in that game. So it'll be a war. We know that. Yeah. But we just got to do everything we can do. We need our great fans here, and I appreciate everybody being here today. Thank y'all. It means a lot. I know there's a big football game on tonight. We thank y'all. But hopefully y'all can get out on Wednesday because that'll be another thriller. Look, the truth is we got to just focus on what we can focus on,
right.
and that's all that matters. But, we're sitting here with the group that, we're an overtime away from being in solo place of first place in the SEC. Right now we're tied.
Not sharing with anybody. Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we got 2 home games right here.
Yeah.
And we got to do everything we can to play our best basketball at home, and we need our fans breathing down their neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As you always said, you want it to be the toughest place in the SEC.
I'm telling you, when we get that press going and we're making those threes, that crowd behind us, we can make some teams crumble.
No place like it.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 8 o'clock, Mississippi State, our Dos Equis tip-off show at 7:30. We'll step aside. Come on back to Rudy's for the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. This is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Thanks to the generosity of 12th Man Foundation donors, Aggie student-athletes have the resources to succeed at Texas A&M and beyond. Start your tradition of support today at 12thmanfoundation.com. We continue. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour. It's with Bucky McMillan. 2 games at home this week. Wednesday, 8 o'clock, Mississippi State. Saturday, 2:30 against South Carolina. Back it up a half hour. That's when we start the Dos Equis tip-off show. It is way too deep into this show before I ask you, how did it look from the bench when Jamie Vincent dunked over Vocatitis?
Oh, man. He was
not once but twice, Coach.
It felt good. It felt good for him. He was there last year, obviously. So he was pumped for that game. He woke up a little bit sick today. We got to get him.
Oh, really?
Get him back. He's probably out all night celebrating that one. Woke up sick.
You said something when they shot around in Moody Center about being aggressive and not, I guess, not being passive. Like, if it's foul him.
Yep.
Foul him. We've got support for you. Don't hesitate. He did not hesitate in that game.
Yeah, Jamie ended up with 4 fouls in that game, but that's okay.
Right.
Like, he was aggressive.
Yeah.
No one's going to walk away from that game and remember Jamie had 4 fouls. They're going to remember Jamie dunked on that guy twice.
Great point.
That's
a great point.
So you got to be aggressive. I mean, no one's, that's what people are going to remember, Jamie.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember or think you're rude because you got sweat on them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, that's the deal with Jamie when he gets that competitive motor going. He's so long that he's a force to stop. We just got to get that engine revved up at all times.
Yeah, you always talk about the ceiling for him and someone to build with, but it's not just the future for him. There's an awful lot he can give you in the present.
Oh,
as
for
well,
sure.
Kenny Knotts.
For sure. People don't know, Jamie can actually make threes.
Yeah.
He's big. He's a hard guy to move. His arms are, go down to, the floor.
Yeah. So,
he can block shots. He can, score. He's a hard guy to move down there.
Yeah.
He really is. He's a hard guy to move. And, the back of the pressure, you've seen players think they have layups, and he just comes out of nowhere and blocks it.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a knack.
Yeah.
Right?
We can't teach length.
You
can't teach length.
No, you can't. Between this team, the defense and the pressure and the steals, you turned over some teams, Bucky, recently, the start of the SEC, who don't turn the ball over. And you've talked about this. That's how that's the immediate benefit of it. But those points off turnovers lead to those fast break points. And it just feeds upon itself. And I heard John Crispin say, I was watching a little bit of Saturday, that cumulative effect. It's a 40-minute game when you're playing Texas A&M, correct?
That's how we want it to be. I've mentioned this before, that when you watch a basketball game, usually what appears to happen is this. When I just watched it growing up, it was a team would get the ball. Mm-hmm. They'd kind of go down there. They didn't like what they had. Then they kind of relax, and then they try to go. Mm-hmm. And then on defense, the other team would get the ball, and they would kind of get back on defense or rest while the other team came down there. We just want to take all the lulls out of it.
Right.
So, made or miss, we want to pick up and match up and guard full court. So there's no lull. If they score on us, we don't want anything but get it out of the net as quickly as possible.
Right.
And when we get to the other end, we want to be into triggers very quickly, whether it's ball screen, off ball screen. So it's just continuous pressure on the defense. There was, probably 8 points in that game where they scored on us, but we just rip it out of the net real quick, pitch it up. Ali D was getting a layup. Mm-hmm. Pitch up the floor. Ruben's banging a three, getting fouled on the three. You say, well, that's 8 points. Well, guess what? We won by 4.
Correct.
So, that's the stuff we have to win.
Yeah.
And, pressure takes its toll on you in time, right? I mean, just because there's pressure in a pipe doesn't mean it's going to burst, but if there's too much over time, it's going to burst eventually. And so you can start seeing things when you play, if everyone goes in and does their job. Maybe it doesn't result in a turnover, but maybe the point guard's got to go sit in the corner here for about 3 possessions while he's trying to rest, and he doesn't get back on defense, and we're running wild with fresh legs, and we're laying up.
Right.
And you may think, well, that's just because we ran hard. Really, it might have been because all those players that came in there, guarded, picked up full, ran down the floor every time, was the reason that we went on that 6 or 8-0 run.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always get noticed, but that's why every player is so valuable when they're in that game, that they give maximum effort.
And by doing that, my partner John Thornton talks about other teams then start seeing short. They don't see long. When they start seeing short, advantage A&M, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. You know, we want to be a little bit of a one-off in terms of the pace and just how we play in general, because every team has a plan. We know that.
Right.
But we do want, when you play Texas A&M, that, like, this is a game that we hadn't played all year long. Like, it's not a style we're used to, because every team's preparing for the SEC games.
Right.
And it's just hard to dedicate their whole strategy to one team, right? They can't dedicate – they may lose all the other 15 games.
Right.
I'm not going to mention a team. We had a team we used to play in our league that dedicated their whole season to us, and they had some success versus us.
Yeah.
They come out 4th or 5th in the league when we win the league.
Right.
They poke their chest out.
Right.
They lose other games, right?
Yeah.
It's not a great strategy, you know what I mean?
It's not.
So the best would be if you can play an effective style. All styles can be effective. I mean, these two football teams are vastly different.
Right.
How they play, they're good. You look at Florida, you look at Tennessee, look at us. There's different ways to play. But I do think it helps us that we are kind of different than everybody in the league with the high-volume three-point shooting, the amount of three-point volume and the way that we will space the floor and from deep we'll shoot them, and then the pressure in the full court and the constant pace and the subbing. So. And
over the course of the season, the conference season, you have either 2 or 3 days to prepare.
Correct.
Unless it's a bye, right? And even then, that's just the fortune of the schedule. But it's not a lot of time to prepare for this.
Yeah, and that's why if we can really play well, stay healthy, just keep grinding and chipping away. If we were able to be fortunate enough to get to March Madness, just because we played really well to do it, well, that'd be such a great accomplishment for all of us that came together. We think about that story if we pulled that off with. We got here, guys, we're all putting a team together. We get here and we're taking players to baseball games and everyone's going crazy. I remember taking our first recruit to the baseball game, and he was the closest guy to being on the team. He wasn't even in school here. That's Shakari Lane. He's at North Alabama. He's like, why are they getting coach? They go crazy here, right here. He goes, yeah, because you're the closest guy to being on a team. like the first guy to walk on the moon. And what a story that'd be if we made it. But I tell you why I'm high is that you can win or lose any game, but we could be a problem if you can get by that first game when you got one day to prep for the second game to get the Sweet 16.
Right.
Our guys could be, because we got enough good players that can get going, and the way that they're playing right now is just a little bit different.
And you can be you better than other teams can be you, right? Especially in the one day.
Well, we always say that. Like, there's a quote, I can't remember how exactly how it goes. Don't it's something like this. Don't worry about them. Don't try to be them. Make them be you. Something like that, the effect of it. It's there's a sports psychologist, Elko, who worked with different sports teams. It's like, and that's our deal. Like, I know that there's a lot of great teams out there that do it certain ways, but for one night, they're going to play a game they haven't played yet.
Yeah.
And that's the game we play.
Yeah.
And we got to be us and live with it and not be like, look, they came out of the gates ripping and running on us and tacking and going. We missed, we were 1 for our first 9 threes. But, we stayed with what we do.
Uh-huh.
And we have confidence in it, and then here we go. And that's a fun team to coach when they're that confident in themselves and playing with each other in the way that we're going about it.
He's the head coach of the Fighting Texas Aggies. It's Bucky McMillan. It's the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. And we'll return to Rudy's after this. It's Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Head on over to your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com to place an order for their real Texas barbecue. You can enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Delicious sides and Rudy's signature sauce. And don't forget, Rudy serves made-to-order and grab-and-go breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. That is where we are. Rudy's, 504 Harvey Road here in College Station. Another edition, the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. The first time we were here, we had a show 2 weeks ago. We just happened to be in Auburn. It was one of those Tuesday, Wednesdays, and we put the date down, and I'm like, no, we're not going to be able to be there. But looking back, because we haven't had an Aggie Basketball Hour, that was quite the night. if that's an understatement, I don't know if I can understate it anymore. But wow, it showed an awful lot of this team that was down, never out, that fight to take the lead, and then do just what you have to do again on the road. That's the first SEC road game. Spectacular ending, for lack of a better phrase. How do you keep so calm and composed through not just that ending, but those 40 minutes?
You know, people ask me that sometimes. You know, I think there's a storm brewing that y'all can't see inside of me. I mean, you know, I guess that's the case. You know, but you know that was a great win. You know, in that game, I think we won a 30-6 run.
Yes. And
in Auburn, I'm from Alabama, so I've seen many teams go in there and just dismantle. That was only the sixth game they've lost in that place in the past 6 years, six seasons.
Yeah.
So it's a hard place to win. The students are right on top of you. But as a famous coach that I know used to say, make them sit on their hands.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. And I thought we were going to do that when we got up by 10.
Yeah.
But then they were using their hands wanting to fight us walking out of there because they did in those refs. So.
Isn't it interesting, though, that of those 6 losses, many of them have been to Texas A&M. The Aggies have not backed down to Auburn. Yeah. They were undefeated when we went in there, and they've been I mean, it's been something, because what hasn't been lost is that effort. And again, as I've said, from players in the past to the players this year, the moment's not too big. That the lights are never too bright. They thought they had us when it was double digits.
Yep.
But that comeback, you could almost see the wheels spinning, Bucky, like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah.
We thought we'd put them away, where other teams were doing that, but not Texas A&M.
Yeah, it was a great run. That was an epic run in the game. It's fun to watch. And I just went still three, and all of a sudden you blinked, and it's like right anybody's game. And then the game pressure totally had shifted to them. But that was just great. And not to keep harping on it, it was just a great example of just staying with what you do.
Right.
And we're going to live with it.
Yeah. Like,
we're just going to stay with what we do, and we're going to live with it. And because that's the most optimal way to play for our group, that's for sure. And, there's a confidence to that. There's just a certain confidence to that, and that's what happened in that game.
You had said that Jakari Lane had gone in there at North Alabama. Again, not scared. We talk time and again, can't succeed in the SEC without good point guard play. And he's not the only one you have. But there's that leadership. His 2 highest scoring games, and he does more than just score. Auburn, Tennessee.
Yep.
That rising, that leadership, making the play. He did it at Pitt as well, on that road win. You can't help but follow. He's emerged as a leader as well, has he not?
Jakari Lane's a winner.
Yeah.
He's always been a winner. I've known him since he was in high school. He played high school basketball in Alabama. He won a state championship in high school. He took North Alabama to their first ever conference regular season championship. He's just a winner. There's no other way to describe it. Yeah. And he impacts the game, obviously offensively, and he's sure with the ball. He just doesn't put his players in a bad position. Right? There's certain point guards that play a game where they do something great and everyone's just like, he's unbelievable, but they forget about the things that can lose a game for you. Jakari is not that player. Jakari, his great is good, but his bad is good. Right?
Yeah.
So, you really want a point guard that, their A game may not be better than the next player's A game, but their D game or their D plays isn't much different than their A plays. And that's Jakari. And you can win with that. And he's won his whole life playing that way. He's also, I know people say he's small, but he uses his size to the advantage on defense in the full court because he's just right on their kneecap.
Yes, he is.
You know?
Yeah.
And so they're just like, they hadn't dealt with that. And so even though they have a size advantage on them in the half court, he's biting their ankles all the way up the floor. And, so that's where he's used his size to his advantage.
Then you have a guy like Marcus Hill who is so strong and uses that strength. He may be undersized, but there are a couple times he's got the taller guy on him, but he uses that strength and the guy's not able to move. And again, as you have said, you're going to have to play out of position at times.
Yep.
It's not an excuse for this team.
Marcus is a dog, Chicago kid. I mean, he's a dog. Like, so what do you mean by that, man? He run and play all day. He loves playing basketball. You got to kick him out of the gym. I mean, he'll go practice and does workout in the afternoon, workout at night. Won't shower till after the night one. He don't care because I'm getting back in the gym. I mean, he lives for basketball.
Yeah.
And, you never have to guess, is Marcus going to be ready to play today?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, you just have to – the only thing that keeps me up at night is Marcus in the gym right now at 3 a.m. He needs to get some sleep. He loves playing basketball.
Yeah, and it shows. And again, he's another one, joy for one another.
He does. He has that. And, Rashawn's a Chicago kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just some of these big, kids from the big cities.
Yeah.
Pick up basketball is still common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they have a competitive edge to them.
Didn't Josh do that in Memphis?
Josh did that
as
in
well.
Yeah. So when you see that, a lot of pickup isn't as common anymore. Everyone has their skill trainers now.
Right.
It's a dog and pony show just to get in the gym where people are jumping off a trampoline and dribbling 2 tennis balls and doing a bat flip and shooting a layup, right? And you're just like, no, that's not it. Like, what does Marcus and Rashawn do? Me versus you, brother, one-on-one.
Right.
Let's go.
And I don't want to leave the court, right? I don't want to wait for the next time. I'm staying on this floor.
I'm staying till I win.
Yeah.
And that's you see that out of some of the kids from the bigger cities because pickup's still prominent. In the 80s and 90s and even when I came up, that's what we did when we went in the gym. If there was 2 of us, we played one-on-one. There's 4 of us, 2-on-2. 6, 3-on-3. Now that's not as common, but with those guys, they grew up playing pickup, and so that's why they're so competitive.
Absolutely shows. More of the Aggie Basketball Hour with Bucky McMillan. When we return, this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. When you need a new roof or just have a pesky leak, you want to call on the winning team at Schulte Roofing, home of the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. Get the best. Visit SchulteRoofing.com. Jeff has checked in from Paris, and then he puts 7 dots, Texas. Frank from Tampa. Curtis from Art, Texas. Curtis has also said, see y'all Wednesday night at Reed and again on Saturday. Jamie says, howdy from Wisconsin. Marisol Oliva says, love Buckyball. They have checked in.
Howdy, fellas.
On Facebook. Okay. Can I continue the dog theme?
Sure.
Pop Isaacs.
Yes.
Dog. Absolute. I mean, he doesn't back down from a soul. I love the role of him coming off the bench. I think he's hard to match.
Well, when he gets going from 3, he's finally in shape, in game shape. So now you're seeing him being able to make these threes in the second half and late in the game.
Yeah.
So he's practiced so much harder. That's why he's been able to get in shape. He's he will have some turnovers, but he will also have some passes that nobody on our team can make, right? If you remember, he will have some passes that he's got to tighten up a little bit, but he has an ability on these pick and rolls to get the ball to the roller that some of our guys simply can't make. So it's just been good to see him stay with it, right? I mean, it's time you deal with injury, and I can tell you, I've been tough on Pop, right? I mean, he was a very good player and coming in here and, he went through injury. Like, I've coached him pretty hard, and he's taken it.
Really?
Like, he has. I mean, he's come a long way. He's playing good basketball. He's about the team right now, and the team's about him because he's had so much growth in that area.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating for him early when he just didn't have his skills where he wanted them. He wasn't in shape. He had a role that he probably wasn't used to because of the injuries and wasn't all the way back. Pop cares a lot more than anyone would ever know. And what I mean by that is his mannerisms does not reflect what's going on inside of him a lot of times. He takes his mistakes very hard.
Gotcha.
He's the first to be upset if he feels like he cost us a game. And you wouldn't know that because but there's and so he does care. He cares about us winning, and he's had a lot of growth with this group right here. And I think he's going to keep playing good basketball.
It's hard when you're hurt and you can't be yourself, and then when you are hurt and you were saying it, and not in shape, he's got his own standard of how he's been at Tech and Creighton, right? And I know the season was shortened to Creighton. And when someone wants to so badly and can't because of those reasons, but then once they fight through, Bucky, it seems like that light bulb gets really, really bright.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, literally nothing could go right for this kid.
Yeah.
He comes back from a hip surgery, has to do the hip surgery again, has to sit out, comes back from that, gets back, bang, tears his meniscus right when he's back here, gets back from that, and then the first game goes and breaks his rib. Gets back from a broken rib after that, he gets some type of sickness. So it's just constantly, like, what's going on? But what people don't know, like, when he's going through that, like, he's in the training room 2 hours every day.
Right.
Doesn't miss.
Right.
Every day. The first one there, the last one to leave. So he's put in a lot, and he deserves it. At this point, he didn't necessarily deserve to be great on the floor because a lot of things were out of his control, and he wasn't able to practice hard, and he didn't trust practicing hard because of his body. But he's been where now he has practiced really, really hard. You wouldn't come to practice and say Pop Isaac is not practicing as hard as everybody else. And you're seeing it reflect in his performance now.
And that's how you notice, or that's when we see camaraderie and we see the communication getting better. It's not on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
I mentioned that to our team today. Like, we had a great spirit about our guys in the locker room. And after we beat those guys down there on Saturday, or whenever that was, so – after that, our guys had a great spirit, and I didn't have to talk after the game much. They talked, hey, man, look, I know that we had some big road wins. We had to go on the road, but, like, if we're really about it, we'll be just as focused here for these next 2 games at home. And not when we get to the game is for practice. And I didn't even say that. That's what some of the leaders said. So, we had a good practice today. Our guys were dialed in. But we got a couple guys out, like I mentioned, with some sickness. But our guys were dialed in. And, they know this league. Yeah. It doesn't take you much. And when you look across and you see Josh Hubbard on the other side and their size, and just like we talked about, Mississippi State got us in Starkville last year, right? Yeah. So every team in this league, it's just a murderer's row every night, isn't it?
It's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Pick a sport, any sport in the SEC, but in men's basketball, Bucky, there's a reason so many teams went to the NCAA tournament last year.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Right?
And because this year, when you look at the scoreboard on the sports ticker, every game's overtime, 1-point game, 2-point game, 3-point game.
Yeah.
Every game is like, someone's kicking an extra point to win.
That's exactly right. Or they have to go for 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's over and over. So, it's that's just what it is. And so a play here, play there, call here, call there. It's just right. Everything's right there. And that's what makes it fun.
Absolutely. It's been a blast. One more segment, the Aggie Basketball Hour, Bucky McMillan. When we return to Rudy's, this is Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Help Texas A&M become the national leader in this new era of college athletics by supporting Aggie NIL. Aggie NIL is the new comprehensive program that will maximize and facilitate third-party NIL opportunities for Aggie student athletes. And whether you're a small business owner, an avid supporter, or a current NIL contributor, there's a role for every member of the 12th Man. So visit 12thman.com/Aggie NIL and make a difference today. So I started this show by talking about the things that I wrote down and I enjoyed from you these last couple of weeks. So as we go into these 2 home games, Wednesday at 8, Saturday at 2:30, details matter. You made that a point of emphasis. I know it's been all season, but in SEC play, details matter, not in the final minute for all 40 minutes, don't they?
Look, we won't be the only team that runs a pick and roll or an off-ball screen or an inbounds play. Like, all coaches steal things from other coaches, but it's just how you do it. You talked about, the Spurs, obviously. We mentioned that. I mean, they were the greatest at the details during their time when they were really rolling. Details matter. Talent matters. We know that. And a great home atmosphere matters too.
Sure does.
So got to get that.
Sure does. Hey, can you tell me, I love this, after the introductions, the opening introductions, your players go to one side of Reed, and I love after games going in with the Reed Rowdies and sawing them off with the 12th man. That's happened organically. I know it's something that you wanted, but it's been organic. That's special, is it not?
Well, I mean, look, this is everybody's part of what we got going on with this team. And, I mean, that's what we want. Like, everybody's, we want everyone to take ownership in the wins and the losses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, how can we rally together with the spirit of an underdog? I don't even care if you're the favorite with that spirit. That success is the most rewarding, the most fun. Every great movie's been written from about an underdog, Yeah. And that's what makes the movie the movie.
Right.
I mean, you look at every Disney story there is, every Disney movie. I don't care if it was Nemo finding his way across the Atlantic Ocean, right? Or it was, Mufasa and the Lion King, whatever. When you go through it, there's a story and that we all rally around about an underdog who has to overcome a lot of obstacles.
Yeah.
And, that's what needs to be our mindset. And so when we got these guys coming here Wednesday, we got to look at it. We got to rally together like underdogs.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Your team is very much in the mindset of, for Aggies, I've seen them win, I've seen them lose, but I've never seen them quit.
Yep. Yeah.
That's from day one.
Well, our guys, there was one game this season, and it was early. We weren't the hardest playing team on the floor. Ever since that game, I felt we've been right. I think we've been that.
Yeah.
And that's got to continue. That's got to continue. Someone sent me, who was it? Coach Elko. I think it was Elko sent me a text and said, man, it's really fun watching these guys play. They really play hard, you know. I said, they better play. They're going to get their butt kicked. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's something only coaches can say to coaches.
Well, and I didn't mean by me. I mean, like, this group of all groups being undersized, underweighted in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
They don't play hard. They don't have a chance. Now, just because you play hard doesn't mean you're going to win. You got to play smart. You got to play together. Hey, let's call it what it is. I'm going to be unlike any other coach that's ever said this. Most coaches, when they lose a game, we just miss shots. Yeah. And that's a big factor. Most coaches, when they win a game, it was, I woke up from my nap and I thought of this plan, right? I mean, you've all heard it, right? Let me tell you one thing. Let's talk about the Texas game real quick. We played really hard. We were dialed into what we got to do. We had resiliency. We were fearless, but we made shots.
Exactly right.
Hey, let's call it what it is, boys and girls. We're out there. We're bombing in those threes. You can talk about all you want and draw up some nice plays, but when Rylan Griffin catches that thing off the break and rips it from 25, hey, we're pretty dang good.
Absolutely. May they all go in on Wednesday, Bucky.
I love it.
Great hour. Thank you, as always. Bucky McMillan, head coach, fighting Texas Aggies, 14-4, 4-1 atop the SEC. Mississippi State on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Our Dos Equis tip-off show comes your way at 7:30 all along the network.